If you love dividends, you've probably already heard the greatest hits. Buy quality, reinvest, stay the course. But if all your dividend income is coming from one country, you're basically building a cash flow machine with one engine and hoping it never coughs. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build an international dividend engine, a simple, repeatable way to add global dividend income to your portfolio using a small set of ETFs. You'll learn what an international dividend engine is, why it matters, diversification, currency exposure, and more sources of dividends, and how to structure it so you're not up at midnight researching foreign stocks like it's a final exam. Because limiting your income to one country is like ordering from a restaurant menu and only reading the first page. And you and I both know there are good options on page 2. Stick around until the end of this video and I'll give you a list of international dividend ETFs, plus the exact allocations I personally use to build my international dividend engine. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is educational content based on my own portfolio approach. Do your own research, consider your tax situation, and remember dividends are great, but they don't make a bad investment magically good. Kind of like putting hot sauce on burnt food. So what do I mean by international dividend engine? When I say international dividend engine, I mean a dedicated sleeve of international dividend-focused ETFs designed to do 3 jobs at the same time. Generate income you can reinvest or spend, diversify your dividend sources beyond the US, compound over time through dividend growth plus price appreciation, aka total return. The engine part matters. I'm not just chasing the highest yield on the planet. I'm trying to assemble a set of holdings that can keep paying through different market cycle while also giving me exposure to global business profits. Because, newsflash, plenty of great companies are headquartered outside the US, and they also like sending shareholders cash. My example dividend and income sleeve. SCHY plus VYMI plus LVHI. My personal international dividend sleeve uses 3 ETFs, SCHY, VYMI, and LVHI. Think of them like a 3-person band. SCHY is the quality and dividend growth member, the one who shows up on time and reads the manual. VYMI is the broad high yield member, the one with the big sound and wide coverage. LVHI is the defensive lower volatility member, the one who reminds everyone to stretch before the concert. Together, they're aiming for a blend of income, quality, diversification, and some defense, without requiring me to research 200 individual foreign stocks and then pretend I understand every accounting standard known to humanity. This 3 ETF dividend engine spans 45 unique non-US countries. That's true diversification. SCHY, quality tilt plus dividend discipline. SCHY is the part of the sleeve that says, yes, I want dividends, but I also want companies that can keep paying them. In practice, a quality-leaning international dividend ETF typically tries to avoid the classic yield trap, where the yield is high because the stock price is falling faster than my motivation on a Monday morning. Benefits include quality and sustainability, tends to favor stronger balance sheets and more durable dividend payers. Dividend growth potential, not guaranteed, but the design usually leans toward companies with room to maintain or grow distributions. Diversification, adds non-US cash flow streams and business cycles. VYMI, broad international high dividend exposure. VYMI is the wide net fund in this setup. The role here is coverage. Lots of companies, lots of countries, and a clear bias toward higher dividend payers. If SCHY is your disciplined meal plan, VYMI is the buffet. Still focused on dividends, but with more variety and usually more exposure to value-y sectors. Diversification, helps spread risk across regions, industries, and individual companies. Income emphasis, typically supports a higher portfolio yield versus broad international market funds. Trade-offs to watch. Higher yield can mean more exposure to slower growth or cyclical sectors, and dividends can be less smooth year to year internationally. LVHI is the defensive piece. A low volatility, high dividend approach is basically saying, I'd like income, but I'd also like to sleep at night. It often screens for stocks that have historically been less jumpy, which can help during rough markets, though nothing is guaranteed, and markets love humbling us all equally. LVHI. Benefits. Defensive tilt. Aims for less volatility than the broader international equity market. Income support. Still targets dividend payers, so you're not abandoning yield to get defense. Reality check. Low volatility doesn't mean no volatility. It means the roller coaster may have fewer loops. Put together, this trio is my attempt to cover the international dividend world from multiple angles. Quality, SCHY, breadth and yield, VYMI, and defensive income, LVHI. There will be overlap because they're all fishing in the same global ocean, but the methods they use to pick fish are different. Let's talk CAGR, Compound Annual Growth Rate, because an income sleeve should still care about total return. Yield is what your portfolio pays you today. CAGR is about how the whole thing grows over time, including price appreciation, the market value going up, ideally, dividends received, the cash payments, reinvestment, buying more shares so the next dividend buys even more shares, currency moves, because international returns arrive with a side of exchange rates. I'm not going to toss out a single magic CAGR number and pretend it's destiny. Rather, let's take a practical approach to evaluating the referenced international ETFs, not individually, but collectively, as an income-generating engine. So let's zoom out and talk long-term total return, the 5, 10, even set it and forget it year view when the data allows. Stack those results up against broad international benchmarks and see who's really pulling their weight over time. Here's what we're watching for. 1. Dividend growth trend. Is the payout steadily climbing over the years, or just doing the financial equivalent of a caffeine crash? 2. Valuation and quality. High yield can mean a bargain, or a warning label. Cheap stocks are only fun when there's a good reason they're cheap. 3. Volatility and drawdowns. How rough was the ride when markets hit turbulence? A smooth landing matters just as much as top speed. 4. Portfolio fit. Are you building income now, or planting seeds you'll harvest later? Know the job before you hire the asset. Back tests are incredibly useful, but let's keep our humility. The market's favorite pastime is making very smart people look very silly on a very public scoreboard. So we use history as a guide, not a crystal ball. Discipline beats prediction, every time. Account location matters with international dividends because of foreign withholding taxes. Many countries withhold a portion of dividends before they reach you. Depending on your situation, you may be able to claim a foreign tax credit in a taxable brokerage account. In many retirement accounts, that credit may not be usable. So, generally speaking, and check with a tax pro, taxable brokerage, often a strong fit for international dividend ETFs if you can benefit from the foreign tax credit. You'll still owe taxes on dividends, but you may offset some foreign withholding. Traditional IRA/401k. Great for deferring taxes on dividends, but foreign withholding may be a leak you can't reclaim. Roth IRA. Tax-free qualified withdrawals are awesome, but again, foreign withholding may not be recoverable, so you want to be intentional. Bottom line, if maximizing after-tax dividend income is the goal, taxable is often worth considering for international dividends. If simplicity and tax deferral are the goal, retirement accounts can still be reasonable. Think of withholding tax like a tiny toll booth on your dividend highway. You still get where you're going, but you might want the route where you can get reimbursed for the tolls. Here's a simple, repeatable process you can use with Shike, Vime, and Vach, or really any well-designed ETF trio, without turning investing into a second full-time job. Step 1. Decide the sleeve size. This is just a fancy way of asking, how much of my portfolio is going to work overseas? Maybe it's 10%, maybe 30%. The key is that it's intentional, not whatever percentage you accidentally ended up with. Step 2. Assign roles. Think of this like casting a movie. One ETF handles quality and dividend growth. One brings broad yield. One plays defense. And here's the litmus test. If you can't explain an ETF's job in one sentence, you're not building a portfolio. You're collecting ETFs like they're Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all is not a strategy. Step 3. Automate contributions. Because consistency beats perfect timing. Always has, always will. The market rewards showing up, not trying to be clever every Tuesday. Step 4. Reinvest dividends. At least during the compounding phase. Let those dividends go to work hiring more dividends. It's like a fully legal, very boring army, marching steadily toward your future income. Step 5. Rebalance occasionally. Once or twice a year is plenty. Or whenever things drift enough to make your investor policy statement, IPS, quietly judge you. For context, here's how I implement it. My international dividend engine, 50% of my portfolio. Vime, 20%. Shy, 20%. Vach, 10%. My US dividend engine, the other 50%. ShHD, 20%. Dro, 10%. Heave, 10%. Viam, 10%. Nothing exotic, nothing dramatic. Just a system designed to keep cash flowing, emotions low, and the long game firmly in your favor. Because investing doesn't need to be exciting, it needs to be effective. Risks and caveats. Because we're adults. Currency risk. If the US dollar strengthens, it can shrink your international returns when they're converted back into dollars, even if the local market is doing just fine. That said, with US debt still rising, owning foreign assets can also act as a hedge against inflation and a weaker dollar. Dividend variability. Many non-US companies don't follow the same smooth quarterly raise tradition you see with US dividend aristocrats, so payouts can be more uneven from quarter to quarter or year to year. Sector tilts. High dividend strategies often concentrate in yield-heavy sectors like financials, energy, or utilities, depending on the time period. That can help income, but it also means you're taking on some sector-specific risk. Geopolitical regulatory risk. Different markets come with different rules and different surprises. Policy changes, taxes, sanctions, and regulations can all affect returns in ways US-only investors may not be used to. Chasing yield. If the strategy turns into highest yield wins, you may be volunteering for future dividend cuts. The goal here isn't the biggest headline yield, it's a healthier mix of yield and durability, and SCHY, VYMI, and LVHI are built to avoid simply chasing the highest yield. The takeaway: why the international dividend engine helps. The benefit of building an international dividend engine is that you're not relying on one market, one currency, or one dividend culture to fund your future. With a sleeve like SCHY plus VYMI plus LVHI, you're aiming for global income, diversified sources of return, and a portfolio that can keep compounding even when one region has a rough patch. If you want, drop a comment with your current international dividend holdings and whether you prefer set it and forget it or rebalance like you're landing a plane. If this video was helpful, consider subscribing for more investing breakdowns that are educational, realistic, and only slightly obsessed with spreadsheets. Before you go, if you want to go deeper on building wealth and investing with a modern edge, check out my books. AI Meets Finance, Investing in the Age of Artificial Intelligence, available on Amazon, and The Wealth Basics, a practical guide to investing and building generational wealth, the stuff we should have learned in high school, also available on Amazon. Links are in the description. As always, thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.